Wozika, Yabeda was. Now, this is not your first. Second time. Say, will who be perfectly woman in Argentina? Prove to everybody that you are worth the position that has been entrusted to you. Congratulations. My second point, I was privileged to be a member of the Constitution Review Committee. I had the privilege of traveling throughout the whole country. And what shocked me was the number of unfinished projects in the country. We keep building building new projects and leave them when our time is over. But then the unfinished projects still remain, and some have been standing there for 5, 6, 10 years. What are we going to do about that? Because it's sort of drain on our economy. So, President, Your Excellency, over to you.
Your Excellency, me, President, or Kasa, or come be day, lead you, Abba, film, Finaman, Trumaha, Ma, or Bama, in your soul, and assets name. So, now, my yard singing day, parliamentary ratification, Ama, in Yamari, Akechi. Emma Mitnay, Menye, Nana, Okesi, Yamasani, Nkusuku, Nana Abura, Oye, Bapenye, Yaya Krata, Yapo, Parliament. The one more na Oye ratification process, one remain. Listen to me there. Listen to me there. Oye Ghana, the Minerals and Mining Act. 703. Bibi wom there. Odun Ribia will freeze all economic activities within the mining area. Also, warden, environmental regulation, and minerals mining and compensation law. Also, the same process of freezing economic activities. Now, as far back as December, I think 23rd December last year, now will be declared that active mining area in line with the mining and minerals and mining laws. Impacting there, about 500 households. This declaration of the freezing of mining activity, it has impacted on them. With about 1,200 farmers, they block them from undertaking any economic activity. They are not farming. Now, poverty is getting worse and worse. All what they were made to believe was because of the governing laws. the company applied the government regulations and declared this freezing of economic activities. It's of how in hand and some are working in children, even Sebio, if you don't say, opposition in parliament, now one a day, project over. I'm full, really full. It's your best ready. Wabeya, 1 year and 10, 1 year shot, 1 kind of thing. Na family, so 1 son, 1 poor, 1 one day more baby. When you are Manasa, 1 family. Now, 1 to 1 year baby, no one be here. Now, I hear the man. The current situation is not pleasant. Nti kakra. Na medibisu soda. On there, you share 2 things in relation to the mind. Mama saying there, you share. Or yes, some aspects of the agreement. The most important one is the aspects that favor the government or the country. Then we also have aspects that favor the community. Let me say it and be reminding the street and understand some of these things. This aspect there, the Community Development Fund, we are going to get $6 million every year. The Mahama community. $6 million a year for 12 years. So we are expecting an injection of fund for our development, 72 million within the 12 years. Apart from that, most of us, a Juma today, contracts all back. A whole lot of jobs are going to be done over impact on the communities. Your Excellency, this is just by the way. I believe, as I sit here, you slept at my hotel at Bogosu on about 3 occasions. Yes. I put at that hotel because I worked at Golden Star, Bogosu. I'm only using this as an example that apart from the impact that is going to what? The direct and indirect impact. People are going to get monies. People, mining companies, they pay in dollars. The community, they are going to employ close to 1,200 direct employment. And indirect employment, we cannot count. So this project is very important for the people of Infantsman. And what I've also heard is that if these frustrations go on, there's a likelihood that the investors will withdraw. We don't want that to happen. So please, let's all see what best we can do to fast track the ratification process so that the people can come and start their job. Thank you.
Yo, Asidana Mezema is Excellency John Dramani Mahama. I have a son, Mike Sifa, on for 34 traditional areas, Ushuma Commander in a Urazadum, Yenya, Isia, Opinia, Sabo, Yura. The Russian is saying from what inside. And say, it's a American mother so happen. To the gentleman, the man, the Nanama Ayatsna, if you maintain and then the civil. You say, yes, I'm more work as a moving and after we said I have it's another command to man. Aya as you are when you're moving and being here. It is a very kind of moving and operation. As a measure my medicine, when you're paying a Saberma is the aka. Na zawadi nchini yeye kichifi yeshimu dema yabaka na ile kuishi kwa kuso yes.
Two options. Either the man will answer first and then anything that community. But therefore,
Your Excellency, I have this idea and I'm going to on the phone then I'm on the phone. And I'm now I said Brasso. I was my special day. But this idea I'm going to the man and the name of the phone about this. Let's like a few ways. Let's say I'm on the phone. Who didn't depend on no Kasa? Then my Kasa went. The game to make us say, you so they have a dash to say uniform. You will get the other. But for a man must be brave, a hopper. The percent you see will Rwanda 1994. It was Ghana. Mesremo. The Nigerian Commission. But the young man Kasa won't take. Now, I need a father Kasa. And for fat, Kasa, I didn't for what? And a basa. Never by a man. It didn't put in Diano, Yakupon, and it would be down. Now, the percent, and watch you and to what we are about. That's I'm saying, yes. When you move your car, baby, near Gunu, yes, you are my foot. You pray. Now, baby, I'm a conference. Rwanda, the poor. Rwanda, Nabana, Cambodia, the poor. Congo, the poor. Meaning, dear, see what I'm so. I am this here, and I'm this serving. Say, my casa. Then to say, that's summer at the canoe, and that's summer. I didn't true, but by your mind. Then they said, the community, now put on the sums.
They are not present, but that's it. Your Excellency Mahama, former president. Said that we are doing matter. Matters related. Projects. I bet that former Wabaka. Wojini, what chance? No Mujima, or mine, or mine is gone. We now want to move my hand. Now, I should want more acquisition or more account. No, yet, no mayor on the same water. Now, we jack my area as I usual while you put be here with me. Yes, sir, with this opportunity. In Ghana, Sika. Ma, what's it mean? Mobile. 15 months old, the young and this one and minority.
Thank you very much, Your Royal Majesty. I'll answer some of the questions and I'll leave the one to do with gender equality and women to Nana to address. want to thank Your Highness for the Bible reference, Matthew 5:5. When you are going to read it and get the divine inspiration from it. But your substantive question was on the cocoa industry and galamsey. There are many reasons for the reduction in cocoa output. One is climate change. Our climate is changing, and our forest cover is reducing. An amendment was passed to the Forestry Act to allow for mining companies to go into forest reserves. As I'm speaking, nearly 37, according to Forestry Commission, 37 forest reserves have been encroached into. And so it's changing our weather pattern. And so if you notice, in central region, in western region, before you didn't used to feel the effects of the harmattan the way you feel it now. And so until we preserve those forest reserves, a time will come when we'll not be able to grow cocoa, because cocoa likes moisture. And so anytime there's a very dry harmattan, it stresses the cocoa trees. So the next harvest season, the cocoa production goes down. So that's the first cause. The second cause is that you need to make the farm precious to the farmer. And the only way you can make the farmer value his farm is the income that it brings in. In the first 1 year of this government, they refused to increase cocoa producer price. The practice of previous governments, from Rawlings to Kufuor to Mills to my time, is that every year we look at the forex currency to see, and then we adjust the price so that the farmers get more. For the first 4 years of this government, there was no increase in the producer price. It was only in subsequent years that they increased the price. But instead of the farmers getting 70% of the international market price, in many cases they were getting less than 50% of the price. Once the farm is not producing enough income to justify the labor that the farmer has to put in, he will not look after the farm. In addition, we used to give the farmers incentives. Instead of asking them to go and buy the fertilizer and the inputs themselves, government should provide the inputs to them. When this new government came, they came with a new policy that the farmers should buy the inputs. And so if the farmer cannot afford to buy the fertilizer and the inputs, he definitely would not apply it to his farm. And that's why we've seen an increase in swollen shoots, in black pod disease, because many of them do not have the inputs to spray the farm against these diseases. Then the third one is the attraction of galamsey. When gold is found under the ground, Minerals Commission gives the company the right to go in. And they can go and mine, but they are supposed to compensate the farmer. I think that the cocoa and the tree cover is more important than the gold under the ground. That gold will mine it, it will finish. But then what is the effect on our forest, on the livelihoods of our people, our cocoa farms and others? And that's why I've said that when we come, we're going to stop all mining in forest reserves. Because some of those trees existed when our ancestors were here. Some of those trees are 700 years old in those forest reserves. And our ancestors didn't cut them, they left it for us. And we are going to cut them. And what are we going to leave for our children? Savannah, desertification, destroyed environment. And so we must preserve the forest. Yes, it's attractive to get as much gold as we can, but that is like cutting your nose to spite your face. And so we need to take a look at the balance between mining and making money from mining, but also preserving our environment for our children and our children yet unborn. This links with something Your Highness, the President of the House of Chiefs and Secretary of the House of Chiefs, when we were in there, was about the authority of chiefs. Osaberma was a member of the Constitutional Review Committee. One of the things the 1992 Constitution did was not only to ban chiefs from active politics, but also in the various subsidiary legislations and all that, almost all authority has been taken away from chiefs. And so the chiefs hardly play any role in terms of governance at the traditional area. And then they are the heads of the traditional area. All that power has been given to the district assemblies. So one would have thought that, okay, if you take the power and give to the assemblies, make sure that chiefs are represented on those assemblies so that they can also contribute to the administration and governance of the area. But that has also not been done. And so one of the things we're taking is that in the constitutional review, we must give chiefs some authority in terms of sanitation and cleanliness in their traditional areas. Give them some authority in respect of environmental protection in their traditional areas. Because the agencies that government has that are supposed to enforce those laws are unable to do so. Or even if they do so, they are influenced by bribes, people go and bribe them. And because they don't really have any attachment to the traditional area, because if I'm a police officer or a government officer, I don't necessarily come from the traditional area. I was just posted there to come and serve and go. So, as he said, also will come and go, but the Bushapeni will remain. The traditional rulers are Bushapeni. The government officers, the police officers, and everybody will come and go, but it's the chiefs who remain with the people in the traditional area. So the time has come, and I'm going to talk about the constitutional review when we activate it again, to see how we can amend the constitution so that we give chiefs some authority within their rural areas for issues like sanitation, issues like environmental protection, and so on and so forth. So that is something that will be expatiated more in our manifesto when we launch it. And the good news is we're coming here to come and launch the NDC manifesto. And then, with regards to stable power, Osaberima also, Nana also talked about the power of the president. That will come in the constitutional review. Our blessed Vice President, Dr. Tamils, instituted the constitutional review commission, of which Nana was a member. And they did extensive work. They went around the whole country and they presented their report. Their report was accepted, a white paper was issued, and Dr. Mills appointed the Constitutional Review Implementation Committee to begin the implementation of the Constitutional Review. Unfortunately, somebody went to court and restrained the process from going forward. The Supreme Court took a long time before it gave its ruling, and this ruling cleared the way for us to continue. But if you remember, the Supreme Court gave its ruling before the end of 2015, and the next year, 2016, was an election year. And so we didn't have enough time. Some of the things required referenda and other things to be able to amend. And so the decision my cabinet took was that let's leave it so that the next government will continue the process. Unfortunately, the next government came and they have not taken any interest in the constitutional review process. The only part they were interested in was political parties' participation in district assembly elections. That's all. And when that didn't happen, they just abandoned the rest. But I want to assure you that we're going to take up the constitutional review process when we come into office and push it to its logical conclusion, so that some of the issues that will make the Constitution a living document and make it work for our people long into the future. We've used this Constitution for more than 30 years. This is the time for us to look at it again. As Nana said, it gives a lot of power to the president. I'm told that the president makes thousands of appointments, and I think that we can amend the Constitution to put checks and balances. The Constitution was okay, and I think that we've seen presidents who have come and gone. President Rawlings came, President Kufuor came, Atamils came, I came, and it is probably only under this administration that, some aspects of the Constitution have been pushed to their limits, because the Constitution gives you powers to make appointments. The president has appointed in every sector, including the courts, packed the courts. Out of almost 180 something high court judges, only about 18 of them were appointed by previous administrations. If you take the appeals court, out of almost